Hey language learners! Today I want to show you a very simple yet incredibly powerful tool called VocabSieve. At its core, all it does is take text, do a little bit of analysis, and then put it into Anki. But if you don't like Anki, it's also just a good dictionary. For example, I have a sentence here, and if I select it and then Control C or Command C, it'll go into the tool right here. I can select the word that I don't know. It'll look it up for me. I might have to go a little deeper. And then I can add it to Anki. Boom, as simple as that. Let me show you how you can download and install this awesome tool, and then I'll show you a couple of different ways that you can use it. So to download it, we're gonna go to freelanguagetools.org, go to links, and then latest release of SSM. SSM stands for Simple Sentence Mining, which was the old name of this program. And so now if you're a Windows user, download the .msi, and if you're a Mac user, you should actually download the version 8.3 because some users are saying that this DMG is broken. So you can scroll down here, go to Assets, and download this DMG. If you're a Linux user like me, then you can probably figure out how to install it by going to this part, and the README down here has instructions for you. So download it in the way that makes sense for your operating system, and I'll see you once you've got it set up for the first time. All right, so this is the first thing that I see when I open up the tool after installing. I'm going to click yes, and then it's going to say that it can't reach Anki Connect. That's fine, just click ignore, and then it's going to open the configuration. This is actually really easy. You just got to click the things that make sense to you. I like to click lematize words greedily, but it honestly doesn't matter. Then you're going to want to choose which language you're studying. There's a lot of them, but I'm going to choose Spanish for the example of this video. There it is. Then I'm going to choose my dictionary source one. I like the Wiktionary, but you can also use Google Translate if there's no Wiktionary for your language or it's not big enough or whatever. Bold words is fine. Pronunciation source is fine. Frequency list, I don't have one. Google Translate to English. English Dictionary, done. Great, that looks fantastic. So now let's get it hooked up with Anki. So I'm actually going to close this all down, and then I'm going to open Anki. And now we have to install something called Anki Connect. So I'm going to click on Tools and go to Add-ons, and then I'm going to click on Get Add-ons. And now we need to copy and paste the code from the description, or you can get it by going to your browser and Googling Anki Connect. And then you'll find it here. You'll find the code, and I'll copy it, and then I'll paste and hit OK. Processing installed successfully. OK. Going to close this, and we need to restart Anki, so I'll do that. And now we're back. And so now if we go into add-ons, we see we have Anki Connect. It's all good to go. Now I'm going to open VocabSieve again, and we have to make sure that they're correctly communicating. So we'll hit Configure, go to Anki, and it looks like it found it just fine. If you don't see anything here and this is grayed out, then they have not connected. Just try closing both programs again, opening Anki, then opening VocabSieve, and you should be good to go. Now, let's add the VocabSieve note type. So I'm going to click on this button here. It says done. That's a good thing. If we go over to Tools, Manage Note Types, we see we now have the VocabSieve notes. And now we just need to remind it that that now exists. So I'm going to close this quickly, open it again, go over to Anki, and then I'll click on this and click on VocabSieve notes. And actually, you can just, there it is. If you click the button again, it'll auto-populate everything for you. And now you're good to go. You don't have to touch your settings ever again if you don't want to, I promise. So I'm going to close this. And that's the program. You will always need Anki open if you plan to add cards because they need to talk together. You don't have to have Anki open if you just want to use it as a dictionary, but if something's not working, that's probably why. Okay, let's look at a couple of examples of how you can use this very powerful tool to aid in your immersion process. My personal favorite way to use the VocabSieve tool is with my Kindle. I read on my Kindle a lot, and I can actually use this tool to import all my lookups and create a bunch of Anki cards automatically. So I'm going to click on Import here and select Kindle Lookups. I'm going to go down to my Kindle and then hit Open. Now, it'll bring up all the different books on my Kindle, and there's a lot. So you only have to import one book at a time or whatever it may be. I'm going to select to only import highlighted words. So these are words that I've highlighted in my Kindle. You can choose it to do all the words that you ever looked up, which is a lot more than you probably need because you can be choosy with this. I'll choose the book that I want to import. Let's do Jurassic Park. Good book, by the way. I'm going to put the use notes starting from way back in 2021 because I want to make sure to get all the notes. So I'll go all the way back to the top of the list. And then I'm going to look up currently selected. This will take a moment to do. As you can see, it's working through each definition individually. It's doing it down here as well. And so I'll be back with you as soon as that's done. All right, and it finished. And so now I'm going to click Add Notes to Anki. This will probably take a moment since it's a bunch of cards. If you're doing even more lookups than 73, be prepared to wait at least a couple minutes. Yeah, I'll skip this again so that you don't have to wait with me. And there we go. 73 notes have been exported, of which 73 were successfully added to your collection. Hooray! So if I go over to Anki, we see my max cards, and if I go into the browse, there's a bunch of cards. Hooray! Now, when importing mass cards like this, not all the imports are perfect. So I'm going to show you how you can fix them in 5-10 seconds very easily while you're studying. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to open up the cards. Let's study now. So good first example. This is way too long. We don't need this. So what I'm going to do is hit E, and I can actually just edit where I want it to stop. So I can have it end here, and let's say right here. This is about the beginning of the sentence, or the clause rather. Close, and we have a much more manageable sentence. Now if I hit space, we see it got the audio just fine, but it actually got the wrong word. It looked up a word and gave the inflection, not the definition. And so if we have single word lookups on over in the vocab sieve, all we have to do is Control C to copy it, and it brings in the actual definition. So I'll copy that, go over here, press E again, and change the definition. Ta-da! And now we have a perfect Anki card made with barely any effort from context that I read just a few months ago. I personally will just make these edits one at a time as I'm studying the cards, but some people prefer to go through the list as a whole. Another trick is that you can just hold Shift and press 2, which is the suspend card action, if you just don't like a card, right? If you come across a word you actually know now, or you just for whatever reason don't want to study it, Shift 2, it's gone. Let's take a look at another workflow we can do. The cool thing is that because Vocab Sieve works off text and copying to clipboard, you can use literally anything that has selectable text. So here I am in Discord, for example, and if you see two people having a conversation in your target language and you want to capture some of their sentences, you can just select it, do Control C, it'll pop up in here, and you can double click on the word that you want to look up. Oh, and this is actually a great example because we can see down here that it didn't even define the word. It said that it's just the female equivalent of a different word. If this ever happens, you can also just click on the word down here, and it will pop up there, and it will give you the actual definition for the head word is what it's called. So then we go. Because it deals with text, you can do this with PDFs, emails, websites, articles, anything that is just selectable text will work with Vocab Sieve. However, there's an even better workflow if you're using an ebook or a piece of copyable media. Let's look at that now. So if we click on Reader here, it'll open up a web browser, and it's actually just a simple text reader. You can upload your texts if you have EPUBs or FB2 files, or you can simply just paste in your text. For example, if you want to read an article like this, go ahead and copy the title and then paste it, and you're good. But I already have a book in here that we can look at. And the really cool thing about this e-reader is that it automatically copies the entire sentence when you hover over it. You see this green underlined means that when I click on any word, it's going to copy the whole sentence and select the target word. So let's say that I want to learn this word, hábito, right? I just clicked on it once. That's all I did, and it put it in here. It looked it up, it found the definition, and then I can hit add note, and boom, it's done. If you're the kind of person that reads at your computer, or you have PDF files or anything that you want to import, this can be a fantastic way to make it even easier to use this tool. Those are the main workflows that I'm going to show in this short tutorial, but like I said before, because it's just text, literally anything you can copy with your mouse will work. I highly recommend that you push it to its limits and see what it can do. What do you have to lose? I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial for the powerful yet simple Vocab Sieve. If you haven't already, download it and give it a shot. you might find that you actually really like it and start enjoying Anki again. Happy immersing!